How's it going, everyone? This is Kevin. Today we're bringing along with me to do a portrait shoot. So let's jump right into it. So I have a portrait shoot that I have to do, and I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of my insights of what do I bring to my shoots and how I make sense of what gear I want to be using, as well as a little bit some of the behind the scenes of it, my process, and showcase what it could be to shoot with me if you're ever wanting to get your portraits done by moi. But this can also help you out if you're trying to see what you should kind of bring whenever it comes down to a portrait shoot, if it's maybe your first time or you're still wanting to maybe see what other people do to see if it'll help you out to be more fast and efficient with not hindering the quality. So we're gonna go run down the gear that we're gonna bring today. So the main camera that I usually use for portraits is my Sony a7 IV. The Sony a7S III that I usually kind of film the videos with. It's just more for the videos, but I like to bring it with me, and since I'm going to be filming anyway, it's going to be a good kind of backup camera because you never know what can happen when you're out shooting and maybe something happens along the way and you want to have a little bit of a backup. So, but the main, portrait camera that I'll be using is my Sony a7 IV since it's really great for portraits, which is going to be paired up with the 35-150 as usual because it is an f2 to 2.8, so having that nice 35mm at f2 really gets a nice little bokeh kind of like style, but I can also get some nice establishing shots at the wider range as well as more telephoto side of it to get more up close and personal depending on what I want to do with the portrait shoot. Which brings us to the camera bag. We're going to be using the Peter McKinnon bag right here because we're able to fit everything that I need to have when it comes down to my portrait shoot and make sure that in case I want to have obviously a second camera, I'm able to do it nice and comfortably so that I'm not having to, not bring enough gear that I need to for my photo shoot. And bless you, doggy, because he sneezed if you couldn't hear that. So I usually just put my camera there. I have a film camera that I sometimes bring with me, which I just like to have it for myself, nothing really crazy, anything else anyway. And then the lens itself goes right there. Something that I like to bring when it comes down to a little bit of the behind the scenes. So if I want to do maybe a video about it or for some shorts or just in case they just want to have something of the memorabilia, I bring my GoPro to kind of mount it on my chest. So I'll be using this little, I don't even remember what it's called, but I've used it in a video before, and I'll be able to kind of just strap it onto my camera bag while I'm out shooting so I can document some behind the scenes to use for social media because at the end of the day, I need to promote myself, and most of the people that I shoot with, they understand that. Unless they specifically tell me that they would not like it, then I respect their wishes because they are paying for my time. But I have a little bit of a pouch where I have some extra, kind of goodies, whether it's microphones if I want to do some video that they ask me to, or for myself as well. But I'm able to then keep my GoPro kind of mounts and everything in here, which is nice because then I can just put it inside there, close it, put it in my camera bag, and I'm good to go. So now something that you always want to make sure you bring with you is some batteries. So I have already going to be, I guess I have like 4 batteries total because you never know what could happen, but I'm going to be charging this one over here so that before I have to go, I have some batteries with me to make sure I can cover all the bases when it comes down to anything that I have to take photos of that day. So I'm letting just the batteries charge up before I finish packing up everything, but that's mainly most of the stuff that I'm going to be bringing with me to this shoot since it's just a little bit of a portrait kind of for one of my students for his senior year. So it's not going to be anything too crazy creative, but it's something that most people and clients want. Senior year of high school is very important here in the US. So most of the time that's what people want. They want to have their photos for their senior year, for graduation, invitations and everything. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. This is my reflector that I can use and bring. I don't always use it because I try to use as much natural lighting that I can, but it's good to have just in case you need to bounce off any light maybe that's behind them at a certain angle to fill up some of the dark shadows. So I'm going to bring it with me just in case, but more than likely I probably won't use it because I honestly try not to go that intensely with it. I try to make it as natural as possible where it just looks right without adding too much, whether it's like, flash or anything, just because that's the type of photography that I do. Nothing wrong if that's what you do, but for me, that's just what's worked best for me. But we'll leave that there on the side for now because we'll take it with us whenever we pack up the vehicle. I'm also going to be bringing this little switch pod because I'll use it for the vlogging or anything like that I need to. But I'm also going to be bringing a full-size tripod because depending if I need to do any of the reflectors or anything like that, I can set up my camera on the tripod, connect it to my phone, and then take the photos with my phone that way, but then hold the reflector how I would like it, since I'm a one-man shop right now and don't want to really ask the parents or anything like that, since that's not part of the experience, I guess. But just so you know, I mean, you can if you want to, it doesn't hurt. I have done it before and they're more than happy to participate in their kids' photo shoot or anything like that for a portrait, or their friends, or whatever kind of portrait shoot you might be doing. But for me, I'll be bringing this one as well, but a full-size tripod is going to come along with us as well. So only the other thing that I'll be bringing as an extra lens is my 20-40 that I'm filming with, because it does have the 35 and 40 range. So as a worst case scenario that I need to use that lens because maybe something happens to my Tamron 35-150, I'm still covered with an extra lens, because I always try to have it where you have maybe an extra lens just in case, because as much as we like to be optimistic, you never know what could happen when you're out shooting. So I'll be bringing that, but that's pretty much the rundown of the gear. So we're gonna go ahead and start packing up the vehicle to make sure that we can get to our shoot on time, since it's a location that I've never really been to before, but they would like to go there. And I like to get there maybe a little bit before, walk around a little bit if needed, but they said that they have some ideas already, so we'll see how that goes. But it's always good to have that, you know, photographer eye out there to see what looks best for your audience. Well, we arrive at the park that we're going to be taking our photos. Now all we have to do is wait for the clients to show up and then take the photos. But I'm going to try to see if I can scope out an area of where I would want to go take the photos, since it is quite a big of a park and I've never really been here, but I drove a little bit through. So we're going to see if there's anything that would make sense to go take photos of. Here's a little bit of the behind the scenes, just kind of guiding my client to take some of the photos that they wanted to do for their senior portraits. Nothing too crazy, but just want to give you a little bit of a glimpse what I'm doing, kind of guiding him so that he feels comfortable out there. Kind of like you're almost about to take a step, so even bring the left foot forward more, and then the right leg closer to the left, like that, and then you go tiptoe to the heel. There you go, like that, ever so slightly. There we go, I'm just waiting for the car. And there you go, smile it up. Yep, let out the little whine like the little grape. Come on, my guy. You got this.
Offensive.
There you go. And more kind of like you're like not about here, like almost like you're covering half of your face. Do the posing that we did earlier, kind of like you're by it in front of it, like that. Yeah. So kneel down, kind of like you're doing this, like that. Yeah. You'll actually have some. Gotta find the one that it was actually the one where you were smiling more. There we go. So, bam.
Oh, that is cute. Look, pay attention. Yeah. See, look. Yeah. Have some pay.
So look at that.
See? Mm-hmm.
We've taken some good ones already. I won't put you through more. So we're done with the shoot. Time to head home. Got as much behind the scenes. Didn't want to like overwhelm him because he was a little bit shy about the photos, but not too bad. But we're done with the photos. We're headed home right now. Trying to go set them up. What I usually do is just head home and then put them into my hard drive separately into two different ones, just to make sure I have them backed up just in case, since you never know. That's just my OCD. Probably most people do it, so that's just my take on it. And then I go ahead and start kind of importing them and going through my favorites, so that I'll edit the favorite ones that I think will be best. So I'll show you that once we get home, so that I can, you know, show you my outcome of the good old shoots and show you maybe a photo or two of the shoot. I don't like to showcase too much of my client work unless they're okay with it. And I know my client today, they're a little bit more nervous into that when it comes down to the photos. So I don't want to make them too feel uncomfortable, because that's just what the whole thing is, your priority is to have them feel comfortable and feel the best that they can whenever you're taking the photos of them. So that's just kind of what I like to do when it comes down to the photos. So I respect their wishes. So there's a reason why I don't share as much client work all the time. But eventually I'll try to see if I can get more of them to agree with it, so I can bring you guys and show you what we're working on and everything like that, and kind of give you my insights of what I do. We didn't even use this, told you, but it's okay. So now all we gotta do is wait for the photos to upload to one of the hard drives, then I'll copy it to the other one that I usually try to clone it with, and then I'll start going to importing them to Lightroom to pick my favorites. So after I've kind of gone through my favorites, I put them in a folder where I usually upload them to Pixieset through a plugin with Lightroom. That way I can showcase them to my clients so they can kind of start seeing which ones I picked, which ones they like best. And then once I get some of that feedback, I then start editing them or taking out whichever ones, but then I don't have to be going back and forth to re-upload them to just the site. I can do it all through Lightroom. So for example, right there, I have his photos right there. So the Pixieset, there you go. So whenever I put them there, it'll go into basically the website of where I'm going to be uploading them to Pixieset. So I use Pixieset, which you can do the paid subscription or for free. So it just depends on what you want to do. But that's where I go and like upload it to them so they can see them, send them like their own little like kind of website little display so they can see the photos and everything on their phone, and they can save them on their phone or on their computer depending how they want to do it. And they can also get prints if they want to, so never underestimate that, because you never know who's going to want prints or not. But that's just basically what I use for when it comes down to showcasing the photos to them. And right now I already picked out my favorites so that I can show them like my favorites and they can kind of pick whichever ones they like best. But I'm just going to edit them already, since this is kind of like what I would just usually do, to show them like a little edited preview. Since I already went through the ones that I think were the best anyway and got rid of the duplicates and everything like that. So that's pretty much it, how it goes to it. So we're gonna edit these, and maybe I'll show you one because I don't want to showcase too much since it's their own photos, and I don't really want to I don't like to infringe on people's privacy. But maybe I'll do one or something like that just so you can see an idea, since it's just senior portraits or nothing creative portraits like too drastic. So it's still pretty fun though. There you go, you got to see the photo that we were able to take. I mean, we took more of them, but I just want to show you basically just one. Didn't want to give away too much of what I did for the photo shoot just because of their privacy, like I said. But hopefully you enjoyed and you got to see a little bit of the behind the scenes when it comes down to the types of shoots, would it be for a portrait shoot with me, what gear I bring and everything. One of the things that I obviously wasn't able to do as much was showcase much of the behind the scenes, like I said, for the privacy of the client. But you get to get an idea a little bit of it, taking a couple photos here and there, and it was just pretty cool. One of the things that I like to do, especially when I'm out there, is just making them feel comfortable with a couple warm-up shots, because most people tend to be awkward when they see like a big camera in their face because they're most of the time used to a phone. But you just gotta kind of just do it and get them kind of nice and comfortable with it, and then they'll open up and have more fun with taking the photos. Have some jokes lined up if you want to, if you're that type of person. Maybe have some music, whatever works best for you. But for me, this is what I tend to do for my stuff, and just be able to be personal with them, basically be comfortable out there. That's my goal whenever it comes down to portrait shoots. So that's what it is when it comes down to what I do. So hopefully a little bit of insight of this kind of shoot that we were to do today. It was helpful for you, and it was fun for me to share that for you guys. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.